Thank you.
Yep.
So 6:34 meeting call to order. This is the September 18th administrative meeting for ANC 34G. We have a very short agenda. I'll go over it in just a sec. But in terms of meeting procedures, a little different than our regular meetings in that the purpose of the ANC administrative meeting is to allow commissioners to discuss amongst themselves commission's internal operations and how to handle issues before the ANC are likely to become before it. No votes are taken at administrative meetings. Residents and members of the broader public are invited to attend, but unless permitted by the chair, are asked not to speak. Per District of Columbia Code, the ANC may also go into a closed session to discuss personnel and legal matters. With that, we'll start with commissioner introductions. Commissioner Gosselin.
Yeah, I'm Peter Gosselin. I represent District 6, which is largely the west side of Connecticut back to Friendship Heights.
Okay. And I'm Commissioner Gore. I represent ANC 34G01, which is all of Hawthorne and portions of Barnaby Woods. Commissioner Nagy.
Yep. Hi, good evening. I'm Liz Nagy. I'm Commissioner in SMD 07, which is military and south to Chevy Chase Parkway, west to Reno Road, and east to Nevada.
Okay. Commissioner Finney.
Hi, I'm Laura Finney. I have single member District 4, which is basically between Utah and Broad Branch, Western and McKinley, and includes Lafayette Elementary and Lafayette Pointer Park.
Commissioner Carol Grunwald.
I'm Carol Grunwald, Commissioner of District 03. The boundaries of my district are Utah Avenue to the northeast, 27th Street to the east, Broad Branch to the south and to the west, McKinley on the north, then it jogs north and east along Nebraska where it rejoins Utah Avenue. Thank you.
Commissioner Simmons.
Hi, Commissioner Simmons, east side of Connecticut from Legation all the way to Western, back to Broad Branch, the divider between Ward 3 and 4. Yeah.
Commissioners, are there any changes to the agenda? Seeing and hearing none, I move that we adopt the agenda.
Second.
Okay. So we should be good. I don't even think we really need to do that in an administrative meeting. In terms of the agenda, we have one open discussion topic.
It was seconded. Did we vote? Do we vote?
Yeah, we don't vote. No,
okay.
That's why I said we don't need to vote in an administrative meeting.
Just a little confused because
yeah,
Peter seconded
but I do
it.
offer.
Okay.
I offer. Okay. Yeah, I called for. I just did what I normally do, but in an administrative meeting, there's no voting.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
We have open discussion topic. Anything else? Okay. We have an open discussion topic on the bylaws. And I'll just add, we had a couple of community members in the regular meeting that had some strong opinion about putting these topics on the administrative meeting agenda. And Commissioner Gosselin can attest to, this has always been kind of a hot topic, not contentious, but a hot topic at times with the ANC, because a lot of times commissioners or want extra time to discuss matters that we might not have a full discussion at an ANC meeting. I'll just start by saying that's not the purpose of our administrative meetings. Administrative meetings are supposed to be about commission business. So about our agendas, about, budget, finances, things like that. They're not meant to be an opportunity for us to get a second crack at topics. But since this issue, and I think we had one other issue that we were going to put on the admin meeting that that was taken off, came up and there was a lot of discussion about it at the last one. I agreed to put it on, but not with the intent that this is a prolonged discussion, because it really is unfair to community members. And as you can see, we only have one community member on the line. No one literally tunes in to an administrative meeting. So all this discussion would take place out of the purview of the community. And I think that's dangerous. So as a commissioner, I've never liked doing this. And I do think it defeats the purpose. So I just want to kind of state that. I don't want to belabor the open discussion topic, but if there's any thing that you guys want to add to it, please feel free. I want to definitely keep it limited. I know Commissioner Sherman is not here, and he sent around an email a little while ago. Hopefully you all had a chance to read it. That was some additional feedback on the bylaws, which I think is the right way to do it. And then commissioners can respond to that. So with that, I'll open it up to commissioners. Commissioner Nagy?
Hi, thanks. I actually spoke to Commissioner Sherman earlier and he asked me if I would read his email. Anybody object?
Nope.
Nope. So, commissioners, I'm currently traveling in Illinois and have unexpected family obligations that are going to prevent me from joining the meeting tonight. I think my recommendations regarding changes to our bylaws are clear. To review my positions in short, as to procedures for nominating and approving committee members, the bylaws are simply silent on key points, which my recommendation has sought to address. As to term of service, I think it makes eminent sense. I just corrected that for him, by the way. That committee members serve coterminously with commission members, and that means 2 years. This seems to me to be straightforward. As to limiting the number of committee members to 9, I simply ask this question: what problem in our community requires more than 9 members to address? When one considers commission members in addition to committee members, that number significantly exceeds 9. As I've said before, the experience with the ZDD committee is an object lesson. It collapsed of its own weight, owing in large measure to the extreme difficulty in managing such a large number of committee members. Why would we want to repeat that failed experience? I don't know. As to committee members being constituents of ANC 34G, this seems self-evident to me, given our geographic remit is restricted to our commission area. Chevy Chase has an abundance of talented individuals among our 14,000 plus constituents. I'm confident that we can find competent, committed people to serve on our committees who reside in our commission area. Regarding representatives of neighborhood organizations, I have always understood that to mean organizations in our neighborhood, not organizations from other neighborhoods. I look forward to watching the recording of the meeting to hear your thoughts. I'm mindful of any vote on the bylaws. I'm mindful any vote on the bylaws awaits our next regular meeting. Best, Bruce. Thank you.
Any commissioner comments?
Well, I could start with a few. The ZDD was my baby. And I think if one reviews closely the experience with it, it wasn't the size, it was the fact that there were so many disagreements within the community. And that's a risk we always take with anything that we try. Sometimes we just disagree so thoroughly that except for in the format of a very well-organized meeting, we can't have broader discussions. I just say beyond that, I know that Bruce and some other members, Carol and Liz, have problems with some of the other committees as we have them. It's hard for me to see them as big or serious problems necessitating our changing the format for how we have standing committees. The committee that has been most affected by the criticisms that have led to this proposal by Bruce is the Transportation Committee. And I think if you talk to people in the neighborhood, there are few efforts that were either first done inside the ANC and inside an ANC committee, and then ended up migrating outside of it. Few efforts for which people are more grateful than the Transportations Committee work on what was affirmatively a really complicated transition from the old bus system to the new one that's not finished yet, and one that the group that used to be the Transportation Committee is still working on. And so I think that this is at minimum, it seems to me unnecessary. And I think Bruce's reading of the history of ZDD as supporting his points is wrong. Thanks.
Commissioner Nagy.
Thank you.
Had your hand back up.
Thank you. I'll lower my hand here. Peter, I think that I can remember you saying in an ANC meeting, or maybe two, that the size of the ZDD committee was a problem, and I could probably go back and find it, but I'm pretty sure I remember it. Because you had how many people? 17 at the end of the day? Is that not true? No, am I wrong?
I don't, Liz, I don't know. I mean, you know, we've had a lot of issues since, and I don't know. But you look, the size certainly was something, but it was not the reason why that committee didn't work. And it didn't work because people were so unable to talk to each other. It didn't work because some people said they wouldn't come to meetings if Randy Speck was there, and Randy Speck said he wouldn't come to meetings if some other people were there. That kind of division it's terrible. It just, in human affairs, it sometimes happens. I mean, what broke my heart about that is that the intention there was to have a big tent, where we could talk about the issue and not joust with each other. And that proved to be something beyond my capacity to manage and the capacity of the people who were members to conduct.
Can I also want to address Peter's second point about the transportation.
Let me go to
Committee.
Let me go to Commissioner Simmons. She has her hand raised, and I'll come back to you.
Hi, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. My only comment is when we have this on our public meeting, I'll digress and go into more detail. But I really feel like if people want to be involved in their community, they should be able to be involved. And we shouldn't just gatekeep on what people can and cannot participate in.
Commissioner Nagy.
Okay, so with respect to the Transportation Committee, I think that there are facts that people don't have about how the committee was conducted. I'm happy to share them at some point, maybe not right now here, for reasons that might be self-evident. But there were some missteps by the Transportation Committee, despite some good work that they did. And I recognize that they're doing work outside the commission now, and more, I think that's fine.
So I'm not going to belabor the point because I stated in the beginning, this is not the meeting to have this discussion, period.
That's why I said I won't do it.
There's only.
Sorry, Lisa, that's why I said I won't do it here.
I wasn't addressing you, Commissioner Nagy. I'm making a comment. So this definitely isn't the right venue to have this open dialogue, but I will just add that if anybody's ever been over committees, the size of the committee can and cannot be an issue. I think committee co-chairs, committee chairpersons, however you want to phrase it, know the amount of committee members they need to accomplish their tasks. I don't think that we can mention one large committee, ZDD, that had a negative experience without mentioning another large committee, Task Force on Racism, that had more members than ZDD. That is arguably the most productive committee that probably we've had in this ANC. You can judge that by their reports. That committee had 3 separate working groups, and every person was absolutely needed. They produced a great product. They worked cohesively because they all had the same mission in mind, and they were able to accomplish their work. And they also had the support of the ANC, and that's critical. I agree with Commissioner Simmons. When people want to serve, we should allow them to serve. And I think some of the reasons why the issues that we are having with our current committees, and I've spoken with quite a few that did not come back to transportation, and it, was how they felt that they were treated by this commission. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Any other commissioner would like to speak, because we could probably move on. And Commissioner Nagy, I see you do have your hand raised, but I want to give, if Commissioner Grunwald or Fennessy want an opportunity to speak.
Sure, I'll speak. So this is Carol speaking, and currently, right now, as things stand, we can have unlimited numbers of committee members serving forever. And that doesn't make sense to me. I think things always work better with rules. When people know what is expected and things are limited, things work better. And I think that having the ability to have unlimited numbers of members makes no sense. And having them serving forever makes no sense to me. Thank you.
Commissioner Fennessy?
Yeah, hi. I did a little, kind of Google AI type noodling around just to see if there was anything out there about like ideal sizes of committees. And, it would seem in many organizations when it got bigger than say 12 or so that it started to get less efficient. So I think there is some value to not having something so big. I also hear you that people can feel excluded and not able to serve. I also think that the idea of a short term, there may be some value to that. I just think about my own experience and the experience of friends going in, for example, to the HSA. There were some people that were kind of career volunteers, and when new people wanted to come on, they were kind of not welcomed in the same way. Whereas if there had been a little more churn, I think it would have been good. But you could have maybe the same people and they could have a chance to re-up. But one thing that also is interesting to think about, when I was talking to some folks in my neighborhood, my SMD, about whether they might do the race committee, the idea of a long commitment or an indefinite commitment was not really welcome to them. They were willing to do something that was more short term. So while it might seem like it's cutting people off, some people may be willing to join if the commitment is shorter. So that's just, another point of view that I had heard going out there. So I don't really have, I'm not coming in on one side, but just wanted to offer my observation.
Let me go to Commissioner Nagy, and then I'll address your point, Commissioner Fennessy.
Well, I just wanted to amplify something that Commissioner Fennessy said, and that is under Commissioner Sherman's proposal, it would be a maximum of 9 people. If you add the number of commissioners who are available to work on any given issue, that's somewhere between 14 and 16 people, depending on how many people sit on the committee and how many people are not on the committee. But theoretically, 9 and 7 is at least 16 people whose resources could be brought to bear on any issue that any committee would be addressing. And that should be enough.
Well, I'm not going to go into that. My response, Commissioner Fennessy, on yours, I think some of your constituents have misinformation. There is no commitment link. There's no minimum. There's no maximum. We've had people come on the committee and they're there for 6 months and they have to bow out. That's fine. We've had people that have come on the committee and have rolled over from year to year because that's what they want to do. So we do not put a maximum or minimum time allotment on anybody on any of these committees. That's just misinformation. Commissioner Simmons.
Sorry for the delay. I just want to say it's kind of hypocritical for us to say how long someone can serve on a committee. However, if someone runs unopposed for their single member district, they can continuously run for the next 10, 15, 20 years if nobody runs against them. So if ANC commissioners have the ability to continuously serve and they want to serve, why wouldn't we allow our constituents to do that? That's my point. It's just a little hypocritical to kind of set these rules for people who are, I would say, air quotes, beneath us because they're not commissioners or not at this government official level, but we can have different rules and authorities. So I just want to point that out. If we want to hold a standard, maybe we should lobby the OANC to have term limits for commissioners.
Commissioner Nagy, and this will be the last round, commissioners. Commissioner Nagy.
Okay, I'm at a loss with that last point because one of the distinctions and the reasons why even commissioners who run unopposed, they still have to garner votes. Unlike the committees are not voted in. They serve because they want to, and that's an admirable thing. But I think it's very distinguishable from people who've actually been elected by constituents. I don't think that it's an apples to apples comparison at all. And I think that it's not hypocritical. It's just part of the electoral process here in the District of Columbia.
Commissioner Grunwald.
Yeah, I just wanted to agree with Liz that those who run unopposed are still elected, whereas committee members are not elected by people. And that's a big, big difference. Thank you.
Y'all missing a point. The point is people want to serve their community.
Okay, commissioners. Any major thing, because we are not voting tonight. We have had the discussion. We've had extended discussion. I think we can move on. Is that okay?
What are we moving on to, Lisa?
The
Exactly.
agenda.
Okay.
Other administrative issues, which is what we should be discussing. Okay. All right. So on the administrative side, this is not really going to take us that long, but I originally thought that we had a September 22nd regular meeting. We do not, just to remind everyone, we're okay. Our agenda, which we set out at the beginning of the year, did take into account, which we really, really try hard to do, all holidays, religious holidays, anything that could impact that date. Rosh Hashanah the first night falls on September 22nd. So I had a heart attack because someone in the communities was like, you guys got a meeting on the first day of Rosh Hashanah. And I was like, oh my gosh. And Peter, I think, sent me a text. And then I went back to the website. Thank goodness that we caught that. And it's like at the first meeting when we set that calendar, everybody has their calendar out. And I'm like really nervous about catching it. So no meeting on September 22nd. Our first meeting that we're coming back from the beginning of September is our October 6th meeting. So that, and then I wanted Commissioner Simmons, if she could do, hopefully everyone has a copy of the 2026 budget that she proposed for the commission. This is really important, guys. This is the stuff that we really, it's nerdy stuff and it's stuff that we don't spend enough time on. But she put in the proposal for the 26 proposed budget. So I just wanted her to go over that again, to see if there's anything that we need to add to it. Commissioner Simmons, if you could break it down a little bit by line item. And just for example, me and Commissioner Fennessy were running around trying to do the walk and talks with neighbors over the weekend. And we ran into a little printer issue. So one of the things that I definitely want to add to the budget is, and Corinthia, I have a reimbursement coming to you, is a color printer for our office. And Peter, if you can remind me, because I think probably me and you use the office the most, the copier, is that black or white or color? So I ended up going over to the UPS to get color copies, but I think if we could print off color copies in the ANC office, will save us some money and a lot of time.
Yeah, I tried it. It was black and white only. It can do double-sided or single-sided, but it's just black and white.
No. You probably gotta give it some time.
Okay, Commissioner Simmons, can you go over?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just because I try to be fiscally responsible, I just want to remind the commission, you can always go down to the OANC office and print for free. The printer is right outside of the office. However, given that, I sent an email on September 8th proposing our budget. And basically what I did was roll forward the budget that the previous commission had. Just going through the proposed items. So, yep. Personnel costs, I put that at 0. Direct office costs. So the direct office costs would be like if we did not have an office at the community center and we had an office somewhere that was $10 or something. I just left that $500 in there. But I probably could change it to 600 given the Budget Support Act updates that came out. Under communication, so what I've put under the communication line in the past has been anything that we've communicated out to the committee. So the community. So if we've done flyers, mailers, anything of that nature that went under communication. And then office supplies, equipment, and printing, I kept that at 10,000. So if we do go back to in-person office, in-person meetings, and we needed to buy another projector or something, so I put that at 10,000. Grants, we haven't used grant. I just rolled that forward, even though this year we've only given out under $2,000 in grants, but I still kept it up in case we got some major grant. Local transportation, again, going back to the Budget Act, I think they allow for cabs and lifts and stuff to be utilized. So I just put that at 500. I don't anticipate we would do that. Purchase of service, that's the $2,000. So if yeah.
Can I go back to the local transportation? I just want to give the commissioners an example. Like when this
I got a good one.
having...
I got a good one.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
This commission used to testify a lot, both with budget oversight and performance oversight. And it was always a challenge of going downtown. So with this new update to the Budget Support Act, and I don't know if everybody read that email from Kent Base, but we can use cab service, for transportation. So that would be really helpful, for folks that want to testify. Parking is horrible down there. We could take cab service, and it was something else in there that they allow for local transportation. So that I think will help hopefully get
Ride
us.
share.
Yeah, ride share, right. So that is a really, really big plus because that is always a issue. So that's my example.
Yeah, I got a good one. My
Okay, your
example, the ANC allows for me to utilize a child care provider. And if I had to go to a child care provider and I didn't have a car, I could utilize this ride share or taxi cab service to take my child to it has to be a OSSI approved. So it can't be like a high schooler babysitting my kid for the ANC meeting. So that could be an example of that because childcare is an expense that can be reimbursable for ANC participation. Just going back and moving along with the budget. So grants, purchase of service, I put $2,000 there. An example of purchase of service could be if we hired our previous person who set up the office, who set up our meetings. That could be an option of utilizing that line item in the budget. And then bank charges. I ain't set up this bank account, but we don't really incur many fees, and I don't know if we have a minimum balance, but our bank account is, it's doing well if our commercial account was a 10,000 minimum. We have 5 times that. And then other is just yes, go ahead. And then the other is just $2,000 for something that doesn't fall in this line item. Again, these were just kind of rolled forward from last year. So if you want anything changed, like in our ANC meeting, I mentioned that I don't think we would renew SurveyMonkey. That was almost $2,000. I don't know if we will have another hefty lift of Go Vocal. So I don't know if we need to extend our communication line item by 15,000. And just for your awareness, our budget amounts, no, none of that. For our projected allotments, it's flat. So it will be, it's in the other closet. It will be 19,339. What is that? What?
Commissioner Gosselin.
I'm sorry.
I want to raise a couple of things.
You can open it.
Corinthia, in your comments at the last meeting, September 8th, you raised the question of whether we would continue Go Vocal. We have not used it.
Oh no, my comment was if we would have the extensive startup costs.
Yeah, I think it is not a start. Our contribution, I do not believe, is a startup cost. I think it is an annual cost. And this is true of there are a number of things that I think we ought to think about whether we can agree enough that we might, in going forward, actually use them. Go Vocal. I mean, you and Lisa and Laura went out and sought to understand the dimensions of the appliance wreck that that was caused by that outage. I mean, that sort of thing, that sort of reaching out could have been done with Go Vocal if we'd gotten up the learning curve or down the learning curve, whichever way learning curves go. But we just plain haven't used that. And I wonder whether we should try to commit ourselves to use it and extend the subscription we have into the next fiscal year. Similarly, I don't know, Corinthia, what you did about an office assistant, an issue that has been on the table with us for essentially my whole time on the ANC, and that we keep finding we have faces matted against the window. We're so busy all the time that we never get to it. But again, I advocate for putting money in the budget so that we can actually get there this time around. And finally, there are some one-off expenses that I just don't know where they are. I don't know what happened to them. I worked hard to get a redesign of the website. When I turned over the vice chairmanship to Bruce, I don't know what happened to that issue. We had a mock-up. It was far enough along. It was a mock-up of the thing. We saw what it looked like. I just don't know what happened to it. I think we have not finished paying for it. So
Haven't.
yeah, and
So where it is, I don't know, but that would fall under communication because our website is how we would communicate with our constituents. So if anybody wants to see something else in the budget, put it in writing, email me. I don't have a problem with adding it. I'm not, this ain't my money to be like, we can't have nothing. We'll vote on it. Just send me what you want and I'll
Okay.
update it.
Can I just ask this question just since
Yes,
we're
sir.
doing this exercise? What's the comms budget now?
I think it's
Well, I mean, what's the comms budget as you're proposing it?
15,000.
15,000.
Okay, that's so. I mean, that would cover it. Okay, just
That
raising.
would cover.
Yeah, I mean,
Peter.
my memory was that it was a $10,000
I thought it
contract,
was 10,
and we
paid.
$3,000, and so there was a chunk left on delivery. But
Okay.
I don't know where delivery is. So I mean,
And I think it's good we having this administrative meeting because this is something administrative. Like we paying for something that ain't happening. So if you've passed the baton to Bruce, can we follow up on what Bruce is doing to get the website?
I'll send an email out to everybody, asking for an update on that. Yep. Okay.
Do you need something else?
Commissioner
Good.
Nagy.
Can I practice for lunch?
Sorry,
Commissioner Nagy, go ahead.
I have a couple of questions. Can you remind me, Commissioner Simmons, what a direct office cost is?
A cost to have an office?
Okay, so other than like equipment in the office, we don't pay for that, right? It's
We
just
do
there.
not pay for it, but just forward thinking, the community center is going to be redeveloped in fiscal year 26. So seeing if there won't be a building, we may want to have an office somewhere else. That $600 if we plan to rent an office down at that building at the Circle or the one where the Starbucks is. It's a lot of vacant places around. We're tax exempt, so that's just an option.
I guess though that if we can't use the community center for some reason, that $500 isn't going to cover an office someplace else.
Okay, so if you would like to,
we might want to bump that up.
yep, send me an email on what you would like to bump it up as.
Okay, I have to do a little research on that.
Does this, sorry.
No, sorry, I was gonna raise, Laura, did you want to speak to that issue? Because I have some other points.
Well, does the city not provide us with an office? Because we have the ANC office at no charge. If the community center is out of commission, do they not, like I know they find a satellite site for the library when the library is offline, if they're redoing it, do they find a satellite ANC office? Is that something?
That's a question for the OANC. So
Yeah,
we can
I
send
think
that question.
Okay.
I think they can and have done that. The issue here is, well, the issue with that, it's government space. I mean, what other government space do we have besides the library and community center? Most of them are in like community centers, ANCs, offices and stuff. So I don't know if there would be another government option available for us. I think that's
I want to go back to the office space. Actually, I don't need you, Liz, to research anything. The update to the Budget Support Act, it only allows us up to $600 a month as funding for office space. So I'll just do 600 times 12 as the budget amount. But that's only if district owned or leased space is unavailable. So we may go to ANC and they say you go down to the Tinley town or somewhere while
Right.
your site is offline. So,
Right.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I had one other question that I didn't get to, and that's, this is something that, happened during the survey when monies were spent,
you
and
want
they
some
were
more beans?
significant amounts, and then they were just presented to the ANC, and it was, somewhere around $700-800 for communications. I'd like to see some kind of process to approve an amount over a certain amount before it's committed. And before people come back to the ANC and say, I spent whatever the amount was over X, and I'd like to be reimbursed. I think we should have some kind of process like that. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but I just put that on the table. It's been on my mind for a
Well,
while.
That is the process. So, I mean,
Well, but one could spend $2,000 and come to the ANC and say, I just spent
And they would-
$2,000.
And they
And
could vote it down.
right, the ANC has the right to vote it down. I mean, and I guess you can use my example as an example with the reimbursement. I mean, I knew at the time we didn't have, obviously we didn't discuss it with the ANC. Me and Laura engaged in that project. We thought we had a working printer. We thought, the color looked better. So I took the option and I just went on and did the purchase. But I did that at my own risk, because when I go to the ANC, like I go to Corinthia and say, write me a check, I have to bring that expense to the ANC. And you all have every right to say, Lisa, you shouldn't have done it that way. You should have got our permission first and voted down. Now, I don't think we've had anything like that occur, because most times if a commissioner is going to spend money, it's going to be on behalf of the commission and something that we do. But really, that is kind of the process, Liz. I don't know if we, need something separate, because in an instance like that, stuff pops up and you might need it. So I think you kind of put yourself in a box if you, depending on what the limit is. And if it's something that's like in the upper limits of, like, say, above $500, I mean, I think most people are going to come to the commission first. So that's just my 2 cents in it. I don't know if it's really necessary. Commissioner Knight?
The amount that I was thinking of, that if you're going to spend more than $500 on commission business, that you need to ask, one that needs to come to the commission and then say, I'm going to spend more than $500, maybe as much as 1,000, whatever. Anybody have a problem with that? Because I think as a practical matter, I mean, nobody wants to be the one to go, okay, you spent this on whatever, and no, I'm not going to vote for that. I mean, it is theoretically possible to do that, but I don't envision wanting to do that. I'd rather have something, some input upfront rather than a veto power, personally.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I just don't, I mean, it's what we always do anyway. So it's kind of redundant, but I don't have a problem with it. I don't think anybody would, really.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Gosselin.
Yeah, Liz, I just say that I think if you tracked back over the last couple of years, where commissioners incurred expenses that they then sought refunds for, they were always I'll give a few examples from me. There were always cases where we needed to act quickly. So, for example, when there still was a ZDD, but we were still trying to do what I hope we go back to doing, which is hybrid meetings. We had bad internet connections, and when we tried to use other locations in the community center. So I ran down to Verizon and got I forget what they're called, but a hotspot. So I was being charged like $30 a month on my phone bill to have this. If I hadn't gotten it that day, the meeting that I was chairing of the ZDD wouldn't have been online. And in the case of the several $100 I forget what I mean, I came to the commission this spring when we were trying to get people to come out for the DEMPED presentation on March 28th and bought flyers, and then taking to heart the criticism that I wasn't reaching people in the apartment, whatever that firm is, to send postcards. If we'd waited for a meeting, I knew that I was taking a financial risk, and you're right that people don't want to say to fellow commissioners, "Oh no, you're stuck." But the downside of that is that the downside of putting in place a pre-approval is that we can't act right away when we see the need, and this stuff is so time sensitive that I think you want to encourage us to act and bring reasonable proposals for refunds to our fellow commissioners.
Commissioner Simmons?
Oh, while we're talking about expenses and costs, I just want to, I know this isn't the time or place, but just be on note that once our SurveyMonkey subscription expires, I would want us to advocate in not renewing that, just in the fact of, from an OIG perspective, it could be perceived as waste for our OANC by having SurveyMonkey, by having Go Vocal, and then the OANC provides us a survey tool for free. So I think going forward, we need to be cognizant of our expenses and not being duplicative or wasteful, because we don't need to buy the same thing 3 different times, or 3 widgets in 3 different colors to do one thing.
Yep, good point. Commissioner Fennessy?
Yeah, we have kind of a similar thing in my household where expenses below a certain amount, okay. But I understand the acting in a timely manner, but on the other hand, I think even if there's a way to alert by text or something, because I think it would be very awkward to say no to a commissioner after the fact if they've laid out the cash. And, while it might be, I think we were under $50 for those copies, right, Lisa?
It's like $20.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something that, is absorbable if somebody had a problem, which they probably wouldn't, but, but if you went down and you bought a hotspot and it was, $250, then if people said no, then, so.
I've done a lot worse than that.
Was it a lot worse than that?
No. I mean, I've eaten expenses that.
Well, but I think it's good.
Look, as a practice among us, we just agree. I mean, I'm happy in the future to just alert people. And if you want to make a rule about some ceiling, I mean, I'm not going to get all worked up about it, but it does seem to me that the reality of when commissioners take on expenses is that these are unusual circumstances. We needed to get people out to DEMPED. We needed to tell people about the survey. And waiting 2 weeks was, for some pre-approval is not going to get, I mean, I'm going to keep, when I see something that I need to have done, I'm going to keep spending the money, and I'll bring it to you. I'm happy to alert ahead of time. I'm happy to agree among us about some ceiling, all fine, but I mean, it does seem to me that we don't want to slow the process.
I mean, because it wouldn't be a vote, but if you say, hey, I'm not so good about that, it just gives the person a head up that, when it comes up for a vote, they may not have yours, it wouldn't be an official vote, I think.
Yep, all fine.
Right. Commissioner Nagy?
Say there, I mean, I did procurement for a very long time. And there's really no system in which people don't have a pre-approval limit and then a floor or ceiling, depending how you look at it. And then an amount over that where you actually have to get, input for it. And the question is how much, where that approval limit is. And there are, in every system, there are measures for emergency purchases. So it's not that emergency purchases are not permitted. It's just that that shouldn't be the default. The default shouldn't be, I didn't plan, so I have this emergency. If it's an emergency, it's an emergency. And I think everyone can understand that.
Okay. Does any commissioner want to take the hand and write up a procedure? So we can vote on it on our meeting on October 6th?
I'll do it.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Sure. This is not a vote. This is, I'm garnering thoughts, okay? Anyone have an idea where the ceiling ought to be before you have to say something to someone?
I'd say maybe 300, 350.
Anyone else? I'm writing these down.
I would be okay with 5.
I would be okay with 5 also,
Yeah.
even.
I would be okay with 5 as well.
Okay,
I
so,
would be okay with 1,000.
okay. All right, well, as I said, not a vote. I'll write it up and then we can vote. How's that?
Sounds good. Anything else on that, you guys? And Commissioner Simmons, did you have anything else on budget?
No, so the only thing that I think I remember, I wasn't taking notes, is that for the office, direct office, I will add in the 600 by 12. Peter or someone will send me a number to add in for personnel, and I think everything else is good. If not, send me an email. We got until our next meeting to propose this and vote on it.
Okay, Commissioner Gossel.
Yeah, I don't want to start a long discussion about this, but what are we thinking about? But there's a cost element with this question. What are we thinking about ever returning to hybrid meetings? I mean, we went around about this, and
I think part of the return, part of the issue on the return was the personnel to support.
yeah, that's right.
We gotta get personnel. I mean, we just can't, we can't do it ourselves. So that's the kicker, is finding someone that could support us on the virtual side.
Yeah, but that's I mean, for the purposes of this discussion, that's a discussion of whether we put a plug of money in. I mean.
Oh, yeah. Well, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Anyways, I do think that there's something to be said for showing up in front of people, and including in front of ourselves, in front of each other. So, but I don't want to do. I mean, we need a tech person to do it, to make it work.
Right. Yeah. Commissioner, I guess Simmons, then Nagy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Peter, I would be against it. I don't want to be in person for 4 or 5 hours. And starting at 6:30 and coming from work. If I need a little bit of give, I need a 7 to 9, like we stick to that.
Well,
to get me back in person.
I mean, we couldn't be, the meetings would be more timely and we're more efficient in person because we get kicked out at 8:30. So
if I remember, we were going past the 8:30. We was having people staying over.
But like 20 minutes over.
Yeah. Yeah. But our meetings have always been more efficient in person because we have that hard deadline. So,
and I mean, I know we've had some contentious ones in the past, but I think it also encourages a camaraderie that we don't have when we don't see each other.
mm-hmm. 100%. Yep, I agree. Commissioner Nagy?
I was just going to say that they're hybrid meetings, so if it's a problem to be there in person, there is the option of being online.
You're right.
So that's
Right.
that's it. That's all I have
Yep.
to say.
Exactly. Yep, good point. Okay. We good on budget, folks? We move on to the next thing. So Commissioner Simmons also gave you guys a little bit about what was in the Budget Support Act. I just wanted her to mention some of those things, which is the transportation cost that is new that we can get, and the office direct cost up to $600. So we did discuss that. The other thing that I wanted to discuss that I cannot get you guys to weigh in on email is the resolution portal. We have got to make sure all of our resolutions are in that portal. And at the end of the year, actually, as I'm trying to do the annual report, which has always kind of been very problematic to do, honestly, with everything going on in this ANC. I try to do a reconciliation of all of our resolutions, that they've gone up, that they're in the portal, they're on the website, and it can take weeks just to do the reconciliation. I cannot stress enough that we come up tonight with some process for ensuring these resolutions are in the portal, because it's just, we're gonna, we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't have them in there. And I'm thinking on the website, we can save ourselves some work in terms of entry by having our website direct to the resolution portal. And Commissioner Gosselin can tell you, keeping up with everything in the website takes a tremendous amount of time. And when you're updating that website, you're putting everything in: agenda, documents, resolution, final resolution. It would simplify the process for whoever is trying to do web. And I've started helping back out on web because we're getting behind. We're getting very, very behind in our web stuff. So when I can, I try to go in and help. But if we can direct at least that one portion of traffic to the resolution portal where we just upload, and I haven't done it before. Zach Ferguson volunteered to do it on the last commission, and he pretty much, and that's where I got the reconciliation sheet, is from Zach, because he started doing that. But it will really, really help, especially with us not having staff. Commissioner Gosselin, then Nagy and Grunwald.
So if we could get, my understanding from the web designer when this was still in my bailiwick, is that we can we can agree to a protocol, which is like, so when we finally post in our own resolution basket on the website, and we label it final or something, whatever we make up, there can be a script that will automatically send it where it needs to go. But I don't know where, I mean, that effort kind of like went off into the ozone
Well,
there.
no, hang on. I just want to make sure I understand. I don't think there. What do you mean? A script where
our
the-
website sends it.
I don't know if that's possible. I think our website can direct to the link, because that's a district site. That's a District of Columbia government site. So they're not going to link with our website where we can go in and upload it through our website and it goes into their website.
Okay,
From
I
my
don't-
understanding, the link
I don't know
is,
the technology. Yeah, okay.
I'm telling you how it's going to work. Our website is going to direct to that link. We're going to upload it into the portal, and then they will be able to go onto the portal, our website, and hit the link, which will direct them to the ANC portal. That's how I've seen other ANCs do it as well. We can check with Mon, but there's no way district government is going to allow us to directly connect with their site.
All right.
Commissioner Nagy.
Say again, check with whom? You just said
Mon, the
Mon.
contractor that's doing the website supposedly.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm not an expert in this. I talked to Bruce a little while ago, actually, about what was happening with the website, and I don't want to speak for him, other than I think to say that they encountered problems. It was a lot more complicated than the contractor, Mon is the contractor, right? Had expected, and that's slowing stuff down. That's what I heard.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's the first I've heard of that. And if that's the case.
You should talk to
we all
Bruce about
know.
it. Well, I mean, Bruce is the
Well-
best person to talk to about it, so.
All right. Well, that's for the whole commission to know, because I got a person that could have done this website 2 days ago. I don't know what's complicated, but okay. Thanks for that information. I had no idea.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the information? I missed it.
She was just saying that the contractor, according to her conversation with Commissioner Sherman, the contractor ran into difficulties and it's more complicated. And you know why that's very concerning for me as chair, because we've paid. So we've
Paid
paid
the
it.
full amount, though. We haven't paid the full amount of the contract, have we?
Well, but I mean, you've worked procurement. Have we gotten what we paid for?
I don't know. It's not my
I don't
project.
know either.
Not my project. So,
You're right, but it's your ANC.
well, I understood, but I don't,
you know,
the answer is, I don't know the answer to your question because it's.
No, I
I
understand.
can ask that question, but I don't know the answer. Right.
Well, we'll figure it out, and that's the importance of the administrative meetings, because it gives us an opportunity to stay on track of this stuff. And, what we'll need to do is probably have another, unless we can hash it out in email, we really do need to find out what's been done, what's been paid, have we gotten what we've paid for? And if the contractor can't finish the work or is having difficulty with the work, we need to go back to the contract and either renegotiate it or find a vendor that can do it. That's all.
Does anyone know what the contract amount was?
Uh,
I think it was $10,000.
yeah, roughly
Okay.
10 grand.
So we haven't nearly spent the $10,000 yet, right?
No, the thing that I think is worrisome about all this is I think this is just from memory there's a contract that started sometime last year. And and I thought it was supposed to be done by November, and I think we realized it wasn't going to be done not because of the contractor having problems. Which seems strange to me because she's like like an incredible expert in the WordPress but because we had not given her feedback, so we extended the contract, but I thought we'd extended it to like January 15th. So I don't know even whether we, where we are with the contract. I mean, just we can't settle this tonight, but it was just it would be a good thing to find out where we are.
Yeah, we can get an update. And then going back to what Commissioner Simmons talked about with SurveyMonkey, I think we started the contract prior to Office of ANC actually coming out with website templates for ANCs. So if the contractor is having problems, we might want to think about sunk costs and let it be that, and look at what the free template that Office of ANC is offering. And I know a lot of ANCs have gone over to that. So I'm just going to say that there is a free template out there, and they will help migrate us. So
Lisa, you stole my thunder. That was my hand was up for.
yeah, we really. I didn't push that because we had already started the contract, but I mean, with the new additional information, just something we might want to consider, you guys. I know we have, always have a pretty robust budget, but we do have to be good stewards of our money. And that never set well with me, but we were in the contract process. So, but now we're at a different stage. It might just be easier for us to do that. So just something for you guys to consider. Okay, So I'm going in order, Commissioner Grunwald, then Nagy.
Yeah, so getting back to uploading the resolutions into the portal.
Yep.
So is the idea to upload our own resolutions ourselves as we go along? Or is the idea to hire someone to do it at the end of the year? Or is the idea to have one of us do it at the,
It's
at the end of the?
anything. It's anything. It's anything. But we don't want to save this to the end of the year. I'll say that.
Okay, so how hard is it to upload?
I don't think it's hard at all. I've
Can a
never done
non-techie
it.
like me do it? I mean, is it
Wrong.
easy to do?
I don't know, Carol. I would assume it is. Someone has uploaded some stuff because I've gone on there and I've seen, I think a resolution from this year, but nobody fessed up to doing it. So
I think
I don't know
maybe
who did
Bruce
it.
did it. Bruce is good at all that stuff.
Okay, well, we really need someone to agree to do this. If we want to say every commissioner does it, I really don't, care. We just really need to get it done. If nobody wants to volunteer, and if you don't want to
Make a
volunteer,
suggestion.
Well,
Mhm.
why don't we just upload our own resolutions? That would be the easiest. The person who wrote up the resolution is responsible for carrying it all the way through to the end, right? You have to send it to various agencies and directors and everyone who's involved. So you might as well just be responsible for taking it to the very end and dumping it, at the very end into the city portal.
sure, if everyone agrees with that. Commissioner Nagy?
I was gonna say, maybe, I mean, I would do this. I would contact OANC and see what does it involve to upload it to the portal? Can anyone do that? And do you need certain permissions to be able to do that? Because that might inform our
I think
decision as
it's
to.
your, I don't want to say wrong, but I think it's like your password to Microsoft. I'm not sure. I don't think you need a separate, and the reason why I'm saying that, because I don't think you need a separate password. I just have never done it myself. But it seems like you upload the resolution, any supporting docs, and then there's like areas that you fill in, like who the primary commissioner is, what agencies you got to, because I remember Zach talking about this, you got to select what agency is getting the resolution. And then there might be some follow-up because they can post their response in the portal. So I don't know, like if the person uploads it, do they get a response back from email? I'm not sure how that works.
Well, I'm happy to volunteer to talk to Dawn and find out what it really entails and come back to everybody and tell them. Because I think we need to know what we're biting off, right? If everyone's gonna bite off this, we need to know that everyone can chew it, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to do that. And I just want to say, if I've misspoken on Bruce's behalf, I apologize. So the best thing to do would be to ask Bruce about the website.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, thanks, Liz. If you can get that to us.
Yeah, I'll get with her, probably not tomorrow, but sometime early next week.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yep.
Okay.
Commissioner Fennessy? You're on mute.
Two things. One, if the city is kind of having a template, I don't know if they exercise any control over what can be on the website, but that was always something that I thought was nice about the ANC's website is it was particular to us. And I know that there are times when we have been less than thrilled with the city services that we have received. And if they were to disagree with something we posted and they had control of the website, but the $10,000 is a lot of money. So I get that. But the other thing is if I can share my screen, I just went to resolutions.ac.anc.gov and it looks pretty good. Do you want me to just show you guys on the screen for a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me make you.
Okay. Let me just see if, tell me when you got me.
Yep.
Am I good? Okay. So, okay. So I went to the OANC and went to resolutions.anc.gov. And as you can see, I think from the screen, when I go in, they still call me Michael Zeldin, whatever, that's fine. But it gives you, you can put in a filter. So I put in a filter for Ward 3, even though my SMD is in Ward 4. And I just put in a date because I had a sidewalk resolution in July and I didn't know how to do it. So I put in that date, I hit apply, and I come up and I can see that my resolution is not one of these 8. And maybe this is the one that Bruce loaded perhaps. And then I had to log in. There was another button here and I used my ANC email and password. And I was able to log in from that. Let me just, oh, now my record button is on top. But so if I went to add a new resolution, I clicked that button. And I had logged in previously, so you didn't see me type in my password, but I assume then, you know, we would just go here, we drop down, I have I could put in, you know, I'll put in, I'm not gonna submit this, but like sidewalk, 32nd Street, introduced by Laura Finizzi. And again, I'm just kind of typing fast so that you can see it, but let's see, this is gonna be DDOT, Department of Transportation. Okay, there they are, report type resolution, and I put a little description. I click here to attach a file and I hit submit. So it looks like it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
So I think Carol's thought that, you know, if we were not techie, I think we could do it. And I'll just put the, I think we can do this. So I'm going to stop sharing in a second, if I can make that screen go.
I ask, can
Can
we
you-
wrap this up pretty soon?
Wait a minute, hang on a minute, Laura. Can you go back to the filter
Yeah, sure,
and change the date range for the whole year?
sure. So,
From-
sure, yeah, got you. I got you. All right, so I'm gonna hit apply. And then probably what I would do is click on ANC, and since we're the last one, I would put it in descending order, so that'll pop ours up to the top. We have a state resolution for the Board of
Got you.
Education, request for extension, Initiative 83, Broad Branch Road request for a construction permit. Those are the only 4 that we have posted.
Oh, we gotta change that state board because it has introduced by Chancellor Farabee.
Okay. I don't know that I can do that. I can
Okay.
try to go into
Well,
it.
I don't know who, yeah, I don't know who's been going in, and obviously somebody's been trying to get some
Yeah,
of them in there.
It
We just
doesn't
gotta-
seem to, yeah, it doesn't seem to show who is doing it, and I'm not sure why the address is on Barnaby Street. Is that because it was a particular resident was on Barnaby Street? I don't know.
No address should be there.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, wow.
that was
Who's
a,
putting this stuff in? This is crazy.
Lisa, I don't know. Let me go look in this one. Because you had to log in, did request for extension, 6521 Barnaby Street. Is that,
What is that?
who lives at 6521 Barnaby Street?
I don't know. I'm scared to leave it.
I'm wondering, I wonder if,
Let's not
if
say
it
it on
was
the
a
meeting.
previous
Yeah, let's not say
commissioner
that.
and it's somehow linked.
That's my SMD.
Yeah, it is.
6521 Barnum. That's my SMD.
Yeah, I know. I think those were all the people who were affected by the outage, actually.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, 6521, that's Callie Cook's house.
Don't say it out loud.
No, seriously, because I walked to that house and I put a note and I had it on my little map. That's Callie Cook's house. So this is all linked to Callie Cook, a former ANC commissioner, for folks who may not know Callie.
Well, but it has you as Michael Zeldin, so
It has me and Michael
it's-
Zeldin,
It's
so
possible that it auto-filled. She was a commissioner, so.
Right. So if I go to add a new resolution, there's no way for me to put in an address. So I think we need to contact the ANC office and change the address to maybe, do we want to change it to the community center or to the address of the commission chair?
Our address. Our address. No, we have an address.
We have a
the office
PO
address.
box and we have a office, the community center. But I just want to say, I'm just a little disappointed that we're on a recorded line saying where people live.
Oh, okay.
I don't like that.
Okay.
Okay.
I have another
But
issue.
fair point. We're just trying to figure out the mystery, but I thank you for that reminder, Corinthia.
We could go into this website and see that address and look it up, and they would know where people live. So I'm
They
not
wouldn't
saying
have known if we hadn't
I'm not
recorded the
finished,
meeting and
Corinthia.
posted
Excuse
it.
me, Corinthia, can I please finish? Thank you. I understand your point. I just don't think it's quite as bad as one might think.
Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Nagy, can you, when you talk to OANC about, well, Laura actually just kind of walked us through it. But when you contact them, can you check with them on this auto population issue?
Yeah,
With the
I'll go in and find out what happened there and
Thank
like
you.
why. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'll ask about that.
And because I'm guessing that I'm not the only one who is listed as a previous commissioner. Probably all of us who were just elected this year have a previous commissioner's name. Because it's linked to the email address and the email address follows. So somewhere in the system, it's tracking, it's not updating with new ANC information, I think.
All right.
So that's I mean, we can still get the documents uploaded, but the address and I'm
We'll have
also
to
kind of
check and do
surprised
that.
that, yeah, it doesn't show who uploaded it. That's a little odd, but, or when it was uploaded is a little weird.
Okay. All right.
Can I just real quick add something here? Sorry.
Sure.
I think that this shows sort of the weakness of the system, right?
Mhm.
Not just the auto-populate, but also the fact that you can't really account for who did it. And that's not good database management somehow. So I think we do have to figure that out. Like how did they trace who actually did upload it?
They probably have some controls on the back end for audit trail. You probably could reach out to whoever owns this system.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's through OANC.
Yeah.
I bet
Okay.
Ronald Gaither might have an answer to that.
Yeah, probably Ron Gaither. All right, so last topic is October 6th agenda items. I just rolled over for right now what rolled over from the last meeting, which is bylaws, race committee nomination, Pepco electric supply rate, safety issues at 5301, civic core survey next steps, new budget annual report, and then we talked tonight. I don't know if we want to, because that meeting is getting kind of lengthy as it is, but we also have what Commissioner Nagy said she would work on the but this might could wait for another meeting, the procedure for purchases, emergency purchases, and
Reimbursement.
right, the reimbursement, which will be under new business.
I have a question about that. What's the format for the procedures, do you think? As I'm writing them up.
Yeah. I don't know, just kind of like SOP.
Okay.
Yeah, like SOP format. Commissioner Simmons?
Can we take the quarterly report and move that to the second meeting? And then I just want to remind, I think it was on the agenda to talk about office keys.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hang on
So
one
we
minute.
could do that after this, but I just
Yep.
didn't want us to end and not talk about it.
Okay, so quarterly report. You want that on,
The
that would be,
second, what'd you say?
do we just have one meeting? We have two meetings in
We
October.
have two in October. So budget first, quarterly report second.
Got it. Okay, Commissioner Grunwald.
Yeah, I would like to recommend that we invite the Office of Planning to our next meeting to have them explain what this omnibus zoning bill is that people are now getting in their inboxes and that people on the listserv are all concerned about.
Which
And
one is
whether, and the omnibus zoning bill that OP has presented, it's going on, going around online. I'd like to know if any of these zoning changes pertain to Chevy Chase.
Commissioner Gosselin, you usually handle zoning stuff. Do you and Commissioner Grunwald want to spearhead that up?
Sure. I mean, I don't think they apply to us, but
We
let's
shouldn't.
find out. You're right. If there's concern about it, I'm always concerned when it comes to the Office of Planning. So,
I think they're district-wide, by the way.
Yeah,
They do. I'm reasonably sure they apply to us. I think they're district-wide.
okay. Okay. Anything else, guys? And we have until
I have one, I do have one other thing.
okay.
We
I
have any
have
plan-
until the 29th to get it out. So
Get
Commissioner,
what out? Get what out?
the agenda.
Oh,
for
okay,
October.
sorry. Okay. Do we have a plan for Saturday for Chevy Chase Day?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
you.
Usually it's very, I'm sorry, I have not sent out an email about that. We do have two tables. It's very loose. Whichever, usually as a commission, if I'm usually there all day, Gosselin is usually there all day because he lives over there. But I will get there early to help with setup. So this is just kind of behind the scenes stuff. To help with setup, we will put out stuff like just about the ANC. Usually we just do like bring out the stuff that's already inside the community center. We always have like a committee table. So the only table or committee that will have anything probably on there is race. And if people want to, just hopefully everybody's there. Bring your cards. If you're working on stuff that you want people to see, just, feel free to populate the table, bring a chair. And we usually just make pretty much a day of it. It's usually, pretty good, pretty fun.
I was there
Commissioner
last year,
Gosselin?
but not in this capacity, and I was there all day. Peter wanted to
Right.
say something, and then I want to finish saying something.
the other thing I hope we all do is thank Ruth Robbins, and if Anna Claire Walker is there, thank her. My little crew went out and started trying to weed those tree boxes in anticipation of wanting to make the Upper Connecticut Avenue look good for Chevy Chase Day. And that soil was like concrete. And out of the blue, I think because it's the end of the fiscal year in part, District Bridges, Anna Claire came through with money, and Shorb, I don't know how to pronounce it, landscaping was out there today. And they have like blasted that stuff up, broken it all up, put fertilizer in. They're doing, Corinthia, they're doing a bunch on the east side and a bunch on the west side. I think probably not the 5500 block, which is where the Starbucks is and Pete's. They've taken pretty good care. They're gonna clean them up, but but it's just great. It was like a manna from heaven. So thank her. She's amazing. She is the reason why the circle looks as good as it does. And she stepped down from being the chair of that after years and years and years, and obviously was just champing at the bit to do the next thing. And I think she wants to make this next thing. So I just say, as an addendum to that, I'm going to be trying to follow up on Steve Connor's request to us at a meeting some few months ago, that we, see if I can kind of formulate a committee, a group to work on I mean, it's one thing to fix these things up. The real issue is maintenance and how we do that. It would be great to get people involved. Anyways, for what it's worth.
Commissioner Nagy, want to
Yeah,
follow up?
thank you. Well, sort of related, but not entirely. At the last ANC meeting or the meeting before that, I guess it's the meeting before that, we talked about cleaning up the community center property, and Corinthia volunteered to do trash. And then you and I, Lisa, agreed to do, I think we agreed to do a resolution to the city to maintain the community center property. So I didn't want to let that.
I wanna raise my hand in that, since the community center is in my single member district. That is
Declined,
taken
actually.
care of. Well, I'm letting you guys know that there's no need to do a resolution, because I've spoken with, I can't think of his name, who is over DPR. Chris, I don't know. Yeah, Chris Dreyer. We have a DGS person they have instructed that person to pick up the trash there more on the exterior side, more frequently. So
They also agreed to fix the rat problem, because that was all part of this. Right, it wasn't just the trash, because you had agreed to pick up the trash, Corinthia, and there was some suggestion that you might do the resolution, but you said you didn't want to.
oh no, I
So
don't.
Lisa and I said we would do it.
I was just providing you information, since I have been in contact with them since it's in my SMD. So I wanted to let you guys know, as you're drafting your resolution, that DPR, I don't know if you missed that part, wanted to provide you information. DPR has instructed the DGS person to also do exterior cleanup of that site.
And to boot, the flashing at the top of that building actually got fixed. It doesn't look particularly good.
Yes,
but
thank you. Cynthia took care of her SMD. It won't be much better, because that site is getting renovated. However, the flashing won't fall on anyone.
That's right. That's right. I think that's great. I mean, I
They paint
breathed
the
a sigh of
flagpole?
relief.
Can they finish painting the flagpole?
They probably won't do that. We're gonna redo the site. I don't
Okay.
think I would see them painting.
They went to they did like 90% of it. Can they just
So-
not paint the rest of it?
Please, can we finish soon?
Yes, we can, but
Yeah, we can add that to our resolution, Liz. But
okay.
I'm gonna go back and high five Liz on the rats, because when I was out there, when me and Laura were out there this weekend and I was walking, back and forth to the center, I was looking at the rat holes. So that shows you where my mind was. It did absolutely look a lot cleaner, but I was looking at the holes.
Right.
So maybe what I'll do is take a couple nights and go back up there and scope out and see if I see movement. But that you have
They
to
are
treat
there every
those-
night. They're there every night.
Well,
Every
I
day.
have
Those
something-
rats are not going anywhere.
wait a
But
minute, hang
I
on a
will
minute.
say,
Hang on a minute. Let me finish.
yep, I got something
We'll
to
do
add
the
here.
resolution, and I will call the I don't know who the Ward 3 liaison is, but I will go through the Ward 4 liaison in terms of the rat abatement team to come up there, because they've got to treat. You just can't do one thing. You can't clean up trash and not treat the infestation, because there's still a food source there. There's a food source and a water source, and you have to treat it all together or you will not get rid of them. So
Well,
I
we're
will
gonna get
follow up
rid
on
of them
that.
when they
Thank you.
tear it down.
Commissioner Nagy.
And the Ward 3 liaison would be Kendall, I think. And I know this because it came up someplace in my SMD not too long ago.
Yeah, and she's
and-
actually helped me on the Ward 4 rate issue. So
Yeah, she would help. She would help out on this. And the thing is, if you can see the holes in the burrows, then the rat abatement team will do something. If they don't see them, they don't do anything, which is I questioned why that is, and I was told because they have determined that that's the most, pardon the expression, effective way to deal with this problem, but so just know that they will want to see the holes and Kendall can help.
Okay. All right. And on the office keys, does anyone, so I have an office key.
You have one.
Who else has an office key? Commissioner Goslin, do you have one?
I have the one that Bruce loaned me so that I could try the copying and get Peter's equipment for the cleanup out, and I still have it at my house.
So
That Bruce has
I have
had.
not had one since January, since I stepped down or was voted out as vice chair.
Does anybody else have a key? Because we got a key missing.
No,
I
we
don't
only,
have a key.
We only
Well-
had two. We had three, I thought.
maybe one's in the lockbox.
No, we didn't put it in the lockbox. And I opened it. Okay, so we
I
only
don't,
had two.
I think
Okay.
we only have two, but it's a long time ago that I last had a key, so I don't know where it went. I don't know why, I still don't know
Well,
what.
If it's an issue, we could have the locks changed, right? We could ask them to change the
So,
locks.
I tell you, it's so complicated. DPR will not, they basically consider this their domain. We can't
Right.
make copies of the keys. We can't, it's just this is
Mm.
bureaucratic. But in any case, that's where that stands.
Okay. And I have the mailbox key. Liz, do you want to take that as secretary?
Where's the mailbox?
The
At
post office.
I have a mailbox key as well.
Oh, you have a mailbox key too?
Yeah.
Okay. So Corinthia.
The post office on the corner of, what is
On
that?
Connecticut.
Connecticut and Northampton or whatever
Yeah.
the cross street is, where the
Yeah.
bank is.
So I'll actually I'll bring it for Chevy Chase Day, Liz, and I can trade it off to you there.
Okay.
And
I didn't say yes, but I didn't say yes yet, Lisa. But yes, I'll take it.
Thank
Yes,
you. I
I
appreciate
will.
it.
Yes, but I didn't say
Okay.
yes, but now I will.
And then, we always help each other out. I mean, if there's something that we know, like me and Corinthia know that something is going to hit our mailbox pretty soon. But if we're out and, we just got to work together on this stuff. And it's
And I am expecting something in the mail next
Right.
couple days, so I plan to go
right. Right.
next week.
Okay. Is anything else administrative minded? I think we covered a lot, but I think we got some really good stuff covered.
So if I'm gonna have the mailbox key, I guess I'd ask that, and Corinthia, you have one also. If you go and collect mail, I just ask that you let me know so that, we just keep tabs on who's getting the mail, basically. Please.
Sounds reasonable.
Thank you. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Okay.
Anything else, commissioners?
Nope.
Time is 8:07. We are adjourned. Thank you so much. This was a great admin meeting. I love it. We're working together.
Good night.
Good
See
night,
you guys
everybody.
on Saturday,
Yes, for sure. Take care.
8:07, right? You said, Lisa?
Yeah.
8:07, yeah.
8:07.
Good. See ya.
you.
Take care.